I'm gonna talk about the difference between self-esteem and self-appreciation. Self-esteem is very popular. We have heard a lot in the last years about the importance of having a high self-esteem. Many books were written about the issue, and many people try to overcome their feelings of inadequacy, trying to feeling special, important, and unique. And some research were conducted on the theme of high self-esteem, and these research proved that actually self-esteem or having a high self-esteem really does not help people to feel good about themselves. And what's the problem with self-esteem? And I want to explain what happens and how in our childhood, first of all, we acquire these feelings of inadequacy and how we carry them to our adulthood, and the true answer to these negative feelings, or how we can feel good about ourselves. So I want to talk about a little about attachment theory that explains when a child doesn't feel connected by her parents or her caregivers or important people in her life, and then she tries to find meaning to what is happening to her. So when the child doesn't feel connected, cared, nurtured, and when there is abandonment, abuse, and distance, and then this child will try to find meaning or the reason why she's not being cared or nurtured. And one of the things that the child might interpret is that she's not special, she's a bad girl, there's some wrong with her, and this is why other people really don't give her attention and don't care and nurture her. And then she will bring these negative feelings to the adulthood and think that there is something wrong about her, that people don't accept, don't love her as she is. And when we as children have this negative self-image, and sometimes this is reinforced by people's criticism in our childhood, so our caregivers and teachers. And it's interesting that when a child has problems at home, this child is going to carry these problems to other places, such as school, and will misbehave, and then might be criticized by teachers, and then it's going to reinforce this negative self-image. But we are also built with defense mechanisms, and one defense mechanism is that whenever we feel inferior, we feel criticized, we try to overcome this by feeling special, feeling unique. It's like, for example, when you are criticized, what do you want to do? Do you accept that criticism happily and say, thank you so much for your criticism? Or will you try to defend yourself and try to prove that you are right, that it's not your fault? So this is what happens inside of ourselves as well. When we feel down, when we feel inferior, we try to fight these feelings, these negative feelings, with feelings of self-importance. We try to convince ourselves that we have what it takes. We are special, we are unique, we are beautiful, we are charming, we are intelligent. We try to prove this to ourselves, and we try to prove it to people as well. So in our childhood, we were trying to conquer our parents' love. We tried to be perfect, to be good, so that they would accept us. And we continue this behavior through adulthood. We seek people's approval. We want to impress them. And sometimes we might be overly concerned about this, to the point that we want to succeed. We want to be rich. We want to keep ourselves thin. We want to be charming. You want to conquer things. We want to be successful. And the problem is that it really doesn't solve our internal difficulties or internal problems. It's like black and white. One time we feel inferior, we feel down, we feel like we're nothing, and another time we feel like we are everything. We are smart, we are capable, we can do everything. And I think that you have heard a lot of this, like you can do everything if you believe in yourself, and you are smart, you have what it takes, you are special, unique. So these things don't solve the problem, and it's actually what's happening inside of ourselves since our childhoods, that we are trying to overcome a negative self-image with a positive self-image. So we are either black and white, as I said. And the thing is that sometimes when we fail, when we, let's say that we do an exam and then we fail the exam, and we make a mistake, or when people criticize us, and then we feel really down, we feel so depressed and so frustrated. And other times we succeed, we have a good grade, we have a compliment from other people, and then we feel so excited, we feel so special. So we are either in one position or we are in other position. And then also very interesting is that sometimes when people compliment us, we not only feel excited, but we also feel very anxious, because now we think that we have a responsibility of maintaining this person's good concept about us. And we are afraid that suddenly this person is going to find out that we are not so perfect, not so good, and that this person is going to reject us and is not going to accept us. So the thing is that if we realize in our childhoods, when we are not really cared and nurtured, and if we were abused and abandoned, and then we thought that it's because we had some problem, we had some imperfection, we were bad, we were inferior, we were not smart, we were dumb. So that wasn't really right. It's not because we had imperfections. It's just because our caregivers or important people in our lives had problems with themselves. Because love is unconditional. We don't love someone because this person is rich, because this person is beautiful. Love is a choice. Love is unconditional. True love doesn't depend on exterior things and traits, on money success, beauty. That's not true love. True love is unconditional. So, what's going to help us really to accept ourselves, to have a true self-esteem that is not dependable on exterior things or situations or conditions of life? That is self-appreciation. Self-appreciation is loving us as we are, loving and accepting our humanity, realizing that we are a mosaic of things. We are good in some things and we are bad in other things. We are just average and ordinary. In some things we are good, in others we are average, in others we are bad, because we cannot really be good in everything. And even in those things that we are good, other people are still better than we are. And that's the thing, that when we depend on these things to accept ourselves and have self-esteem, we are very concerned about how we stand in comparison to other people. We think that we have to be better than they are. And when we see that they are better than we are, we might be frustrated with that. So what we don't realize is that we are connected to people. We are all in the same ship. We are equal. We are all average. People are better than we are in some things, and they are worse than we are in other things. So this is why true love doesn't depend on this. Because if you think that you need to be better, that you need to be superior, that people will admire, respect you, what's going to happen? You are up here, they are down there. Now you are distant, you are separated from them. You're not really in the same level. And on top of all, they might feel threatened by you because you're so good and so superior that maybe you want to put them down. So now they are feeling rejected, they are feeling inferior to you, they are jealous and they don't like you anymore. So when we realize that we are just ordinary, that we are average, we feel connected to people, we are close to them. And the beauty of this is that to realize that when we fail, people are going to be there for us. They are not going to reject us. They are not going to step over us. They are going to reach for us. They are going to give their hands. They will help us. They are going to support us. So sometimes we feel so distant from people when we fail. We feel so self-conscious. And we feel so rejected. But that's not true. Because when we accept our imperfections, we are going to see that people are there for us, either when we succeed or when we fail. They love us as we are. So when we have self-appreciation, we feel more connected to people. We feel that we are all humans. As humans, we want to help each other. We don't want to step over others. We don't want to succeed at their expenses. We are not in a competition with people. We are all supporting each other, because their victory is our victory and their failures are our failures. What hurts them hurts us, but what is good to them is also good to us. So I invite you to have the true self-appreciation the thing that is going to really help you, that is not trying to convince you that you are special, unique, superior, good, is just accepting that you are ordinary. So, if you stop trying to succeed, to prove yourself, and to feel superior, and you start doing things because you love them, it's going to be much more fun. Because think about this. If you are trying to become educated, if you are doing that master's degree, doctoral degree, or trying to open that business, become an entrepreneur, or being healthier so that people are going to be more attracted to you, they're going to love you, that's going to be so stressful to you, because now you're so concerned that you have to conquer that, to win, so that people are going to love and accept you. Oh, that's very anxiety provoking, you know, because what happens if you don't succeed? They're going to reject you and you're going to feel so down. That's terrifying, and that might even prevent you from trying to succeed. And that's what some people do. Sometimes they just, conform with things as they are, because it's so horrific trying to succeed and then we fail. So when you are doing things because you like them, because you are studying because you like it, because it's going to help you to maintain yourself and your family, and because you're going to be able to help others also, when you are just trying to be healthier because it's going to be really good for you and good for other people as well, then you're not really concerned about people's approval. You're not fearful of failure, and that's much better, because now you have fun. You don't demand from yourself. It's really good, and life is much better that way, when you don't try to define yourself by these things. When you see that no matter what you do, you're going to always be an ordinary human being. And that's how you're going to be connected to people, when you accept that you are a human being as they are.